Alright, dickheads, welcome back to Practicing Portraits, an artwod roadmap, right? What is artwod? The best platform in the world to learn how to draw from imagination. They teach you how to draw with forms and manipulate forms. They give you the work, not the shortcut work that lets you draw like this after 3 years and 7 months. Fucking intro is getting worse every time. Right, who am I? I'm Biggie. This channel is a repository slash living documentary of my art practice, and as sheer proof that anybody can draw. Right, I don't understand anything apart from line, form, and perspective, and barely at that. I don't have a visual library or anything, yet I can draw this purely because my ability to create complex forms from imagination has allowed me to analyze and apply? What the fuck am I trying to say? Apply complex forms. I also did not get sleep at all. I only slept for 5 to 6 hours. Right? That is some of yours baseline. If that is your baseline, fucking get more sleep, dipshit. But with that being said, as always, wait, what the fuck? That's my outro. I really didn't get sleep. But either way, get your pen, get your paper, draw along. Jesus Christ, right? And yeah, like Artwad, again, fucking dick riding Artwad to the max because, like, dude, they will literally just tell you what to do. Your only job is just to follow it and do 100 times more than what they require, right? Start with their intro roadmap, right? But, shilling aside, look is finished, so let's draw. Also, I know why that this pen kept running out of ink. It's because I fucking keep it out in the open and it dries while I'm ghosting and shit. So I'll probably need to ghost, whatever I do draw with the pen cap on, right? But let's see how drawing with very little sleep, not very little, but very little for me goes, right? Also, today already you can tell my hand's like a bit unstable. It's always unstable. But what are we doing? We're looking at the Artwad. We're doing the Artwad portrait roadmap, of course, as per the title, right? We're looking at a portrait reference and we're trying to visualize these things. This. What is that? That is a box. All the cross axes, vertical, horizontal, diagonal, within every single visible and invisible plane of the box, right? And this box is obviously, we're trying to project it onto the portrait in the accurate perspective. Then we're trying to calculate the 3 center planes within the box, right? The vertical, horizontal, and the other one, X, Y, Z. The 3 center planes. And then we're trying to put ellipses inside those center planes, and then using those ellipses we create a sphere, right? Because they connect at the edges, like the sphere connects at the edges. And this is pretty sure voice crack, pretty sure this is has its own inaccuracies, right? But it is the beauty of the inaccuracy which allows you to draw. Anyways, get your pen, get your paper, draw along. Jesus Christ, let's put in as much effort as we can because the effort is the only thing we can control, right? So anyways, I'm already starting to try to visualize this person's head in the box, right? Not the entire head, because the box is essentially like the first half of the head. It's this, right? Like the box, the sphere, everything, because the sphere is encapsulated inside the box, and it's much smaller than the box itself, right? Because it is encapsulated within the box, and then the jaw, the Loomis head, it's roughly this shape, right? This something like this, right? This shape, you know, that's nested inside the sphere, right? And then this is the sphere, right? But some shit like that. Obviously, like, this is what I can nowhere near visualize this because I can barely visualize the ellipses and the 3 center planes, right? But anyways, so let me try to narrate my thoughts as I go through this, right? I'm just trying to get the angle of this guy's head down right now, and I'm already visualizing the box, right? But again, you see how, like, well, you can't see, but I currently have built the habit, the muscle memory, the visualization muscle memory to see the outside of the perspective, right? The outside box, right? The outside XYZ. But I'm training myself to actually start with the internal XYZ, right? Like, actually, that was a mistake. Ignore that line. But this internal, because then that is what will allow me to actually understand that this is a scene through form, which then creates the box, right? So we'll see. We'll see how difficult it is to grind my brain with I guess the more limited sleep that I have right now. But I think at the end of the day, as long as I keep trying, right? Again, like, I'm ghosting the outside, but I need to, again, first of all, I need to make the box a lot larger. I need to bring it down here because I'm starting the bottom plane up here because this is the bottom perspective, but I need to be starting it here, right? Because obviously I want to make sure that it doesn't bleed over to the top. So of course, proportionate placement of proportion placement of the shape and size of the shape in conjunction with each other also will result in a very difficult skill, right? Many skills involved in those 3 things I just said, right? And part of that is just being consciously aware. But my mind also wants to put the front plane like this, right? The line, like the tilt of the box like this, but it's actually like this, right? So your mind will constantly try to do things that are inaccurate, and it is about being aware and effortfully, just through sheer effort and, you know, being cognizant, being aware, right? And with that effort, just forcing it to be like, no, you're wrong, no, you're wrong. And when it is wrong, feeling good about it, right? Effort, errors, attaching dopamine to it, right? I.e. just positivity. Good vibes, man. Not positivity. It's an actual good feeling. You just feel good about it. You literally just force yourself to feel good about it. But either way, right, and I'm really trying to visualize this box right now, and I'm trying to see through the form. I'm really trying to see the opposite end here, right? And that is incredibly difficult. But because I already started practicing this yesterday with this one, I'm already feeling a lot better about trying to practice it here. Like I feel as if, and by the way, when I say I'm trying to see these things, I'm really only seeing about 10%, not even like fucking 5% about it, and it's just flickering. And by the way, I'm narrating this while I'm trying to do it as well, which is incredibly difficult. But right now, I just need to, should I turn the pen cap off? Will that will that save my my ink, right? But maybe it will, probably will, most likely will, right? But either way, and I'm constantly oscillating between looking at the reference and then trying to hold that projection of the perspective in my mind. And then now I'm looking back at the page and trying to be like, okay, like what is actually happening? And that was already very helpful. That was already very helpful because now I'm thinking through the form. I'm thinking through the form, right? I'm trying to think through the form, and then I'm trying to connect it, right? And this is incredibly difficult. But just for a second there, I saw a flash, and I need to lean into that. This is where you'll feel that pit of discomfort in your stomach, in your mind, in your eyes, like everything. And this is where we need to hold it to the best of our ability, right? And just lean the fuck in. Not actually physically lean in, but just really lean into this feeling of discomfort and effort that we're putting our mind through right now, right? And this is, and again, my brain wants to make this front plane, or the bottom plane, sorry, it wants to make it this prominent, right? But it's actually this prominent. It is very narrow. It is very, very incredibly narrow. Like this is basically the perspective. It's basically this. And when I look at the reference, yeah, that's pretty fucking accurate. This is the box. So what I need to do is I need to visualize this. And again, because this is the top plane that's seen through, it is a wider degree, right? Because there is convergence happening. And that is what I need to visualize. Voice crack, not even voice crack, just voice fucking dick gargling, right? It's a bit of jism in my throat, I apologize. But yes, yeah, like I need to see this, and then I need to attach, like I need to see this XYZ, and I need to see this XYZ appropriately in conjunction, relation, proportionally, and spaced out accurately, and then attach them, but on this scale, right? Because I can do it at this scale. That's fucking easy, because the smaller something is, the easier it is to, like the smaller the scale, and from my experience, and I think I've seen this in like vast majority of beginners or artists in general, the smaller the scale, the easier it is, because there's literally less surface area to think through. But again, I need to lean into it again. I need to lean into it, and I'm just, fuck it. I guess I'll keep the pen out, bro. If it gets dry, it gets dry. It's gonna get nice and moist once I put in the pen cap anyways, right? Or cap the pen, what the fuck. But I need to objectively just be, because this is the back plane that I'm seeing right now, and now this is the front plane, but the projected from the side plane. So this is projected from the side plane. What I'm saying is this, right? Like this one right here, that's what I'm visualizing, and then I'm visualizing this, and then I'm gonna visualize this one. Right, so that, and then I see the front part, which is easy for me to do. But again, the hardest part is not understanding. The hardest part is applying, right? Because anybody can understand a concept. I can tell you 1 + 1 = 2. You'd be like, okay, after, let's say an hour, right? If you're like a complete novice to the fucking just math existing, right? After an hour or so of like actually studying it, trying to understand it, be like, I kind of get this. Okay, it's like now do addition and do various forms of addition. You can be like, oh shit, like okay, like now this is gonna actually take me dozens of hours, if not perhaps even 100 or 200 hours to really understand this. Right? Obviously, when you're young, you pick it up really fast because child neuroplasticity is just fucking. It's child neuroplasticity is me and my effortfulness that I'm putting towards like heightening my neuroplasticity with adult learning. People basically up until the age of 25, you just have that on autopilot, right? Which is why people think adult learning is worse than child learning. But no, adult learning is simply, it requires you to put more effort to access that, right? But in many cases, adult learning is actually superior to child learning or adolescent learning or young adult learning, purely on the basis that you actually have an idea, a structure, and consistency. Like you have an intent, like a strong intent, and you have more purpose, right? Many people, and this is just like a trend. And by the way, while I'm talking about this completely random thing, I'm still thinking through the form. I'm trying to see the top plane, trying to see the back plane, trying to see through the form, right? And I'm actually starting to see it pretty well now. This is actually crazy. I'm actually starting to see it pretty well while I'm talking, which I did not expect for myself. But again, it's tilted too up. The bottom plane is too wide, or sorry, it is too wide. Yeah, it needs to be more narrow, right? Again, when I mean wide, I mean we just see more of that plane. Like this is a dramatization, exaggeration, but this is basically what my brain wants to do with the box, right? Like this is what it wants to do. And this is what I need to do. Be like, shut the fuck up. It is way more narrow. Like, that's what I need to do, right? So it's all about constantly being aware and be like, okay, bring it down, bring it down. And again, like, because I'm starting with the seam through form, it is going to be a lot more converged, right? It is going to be wider, right? So the convergence, sorry, it's going to be more converged, therefore it's going to be wider, like the seam through top plane, right? Like that is a projection from the bottom plane, the top one, and then same with the back one, same all the invisible sides of the not visible sides, right? Like they're not actually invisible, but the not visible planes are going to be much more, or at the very least, a notable amount, at least 10 to 15% more wide, more, wider in terms of a plane. If you don't understand the concept of a wider plane versus a narrower plane, you have perspective. You just have to go back to your basic perspective and understand that first, because these words might mean nothing to you. But what I mean is, again, like narrow is extreme convergence, or just like the plane itself is not that visible. This is like a narrow plane, right? And if you were to make this plane wider, it'd be something like that, right? It was tilted and it's on an axis. This is the axis it's tilted on. It went like this, right? And same thing, if that was to go narrow again, it would go backwards, right? And again, these tiny doodles may not really be picking up on the camera, but I'm gonna really grind my brain, just really lean into this, seeing this box one more time, like, because I'm getting better at seeing through the form, which is incredible. Like, I'm really happy and proud of myself that all the effort I'm putting in is coming to fruition, right? Also, why is he talking so fast? Because when I'm grinding my brain to this extent, for some reason, my speech just speeds up, right? And I think I just generally talk fast in general. Keep me on the background, give me retention. I forgot to say that fuck in the intro. But anyways, so like my brain right now is immediately, again, it keeps trying to shift the plane up. It's doing the wrong angle. Again, it's tilting the box this way when it needs to be this way. So I need to actively force that tilt, right? And then now I'm thinking about this back line over here. So I'm trying to think about that, trying to think about this one over here. And again, it has to be a perfect cube, right? So I'm trying to think about all of that. And now I'm trying to do the front part of the plane as well, like the front axis, right? The front XYZ. And just for a split second, I'm seeing it just for a split second, and I'm trying to hold it as much as possible. By the way, when I say it here clearly, I don't see the proportion accurately either. Like this side plane's a lot more, what's it called? Like it's a lot larger than this front plane for the face, and I don't think that's accurate at all. But I'm just really gonna try to lean into it. I need to feel that pit of discomfort. My standard is, am I in extreme discomfort? I have to constantly ask myself that. And right now I'm in discomfort, but I'm in extreme discomfort? No, so I need to really push in. I'm trying to do this without ghosting right now, right? But I'm really trying to push in and to fucking see this box. And just for a split second, I'm seeing it pretty well. I need to hold this split second as much as possible, right? I need to hold it. And again, this bottom plane is too wide, so it needs to be narrower. There you go. So that actually, I just narrowed it right now in my mind. But on the page, did I do it? No, but on the mind I did. So on the page, it needs to be narrower as well. I'm constantly forcing it to be more narrow. Narrower is really hard to pronounce. Or narrower. But okay, now I'm gonna rest my brain, because I actually did see that pretty decently. And look at that, 13 minutes, and all you've seen me do is go like this on a page. But my mind, drawing is thinking. My mind, right? Actually, there's something I wanted to discuss as well. So let me rest my brain. I encourage you to do the same, because resting, like these gap effects, utilize the gap effect. If you don't know what that is, search it up after your practice session, but rest your brain with me. All right, wonderful. So there's one thing I wanted to discuss, and I'm going to discuss this while I'm trying to obviously tax my working memory, because art is a working memory endurance quotient. It is a working memory endurance equation. I don't know if quotient was the right word, but the equation is tax brain, really try spatial reasoning, overload cognitive memory or cognitive effort, right? And constantly to the best of your ability. Do that, and for me, I'm doing that while narrating. So tax prefrontal cortex, tax parietal lobe, right? Ensure that the glucose that you have, your astrocytic glycogen, is in constant conflict with trying to allocate both of these resources, right? So that things keep flickering, and simply put sheer amounts of effort to get better at it while you're doing this, right? And on top of that, constantly keep calculating. This, over hundreds of hours, results in extreme proficiency with not only spatial reasoning, draftsmanship, and becoming a better draftsman, right? Becoming better at art, but with the ability to break down and be an observer to your learnings, to your skill set that you are building, and to essentially treat yourself as an engineering project, right? That is in constant iteration, and to understand exactly how you're learning. Like right now, again, I just thought about the front XYZ axis and not the back one. Oh, look, so my brain seems to have a tendency to do that. Now we have to willfully, through sheer effort, force myself to think about the back first, right? And now, slowly but surely, I'm able to do that, right? But the connections are very difficult to think about. And that's the thing. It's like, I also need to think about and I haven't even started with, by the way, like, I'm just trying to focus on being able to see the box accurately as a scene through form. I haven't even started doing the cross axes. But now that I mentioned it, it is now my imperative, my prerogative, my duty, whatever the fuck you want to call it, my want. I just want to tax it even further. And now I'm trying to think about the cross axis, the diagonal, vertical, horizontal, right? On like, and I did the front plane over here for diagonal, and I did the back plane here for vertical, horizontal, just so you're aware that, like, why the fuck did he just move his hand, right? But again, my mind is immediately making the bottom plane much more prominent than it needs to be, and I need to be like, shut the fuck up. It is way more subtle, way more subtle. Like, it's literally, like, it's extremely narrow, right? So my mind is, again, it's okay if that is relatively, it probably should be more narrow for the top plane that you can't see, right? The back top plane, but for the bottom plane, voice crack, the bottom plane, it needs to be a lot more condensed. It needs to be narrower. So again, my brain, my forehead is feeling a pressure. I'm even possibly even getting a slight headache. Why? Because again, art is taxing your working memory. So on that topic, because I've just been repeating myself, but what I was trying to say is, what I was trying to lead into is the fact that, like, with all this being said, right, this is the next 100 hours minimum of my practice. This exact experience I go through every single fucking day, or 5 days a week for an hour in that day, right? This is literally, and I'm really trying hard to tax my mind right now. And again, you see, I keep making the plane this way. It's wrong. It's this way. So I keep trying, because this is a schema as well. Like, this is a new mental model. This new angle, this is a new tilt. This is me actually, and this is why I keep changing the angle, because we can't just be copying symbols. We have to be understanding the space that we're trying to draw, right? Therefore, do we actually understand the mental model we're building? Do we actually understand the space that we have created? Do we understand how it resides, how it's seen through, how it's calculated, right? When it is tilted, when it is shifted, like, are you actually understanding it, or are you simply inferring it? And inferring is not the name of the game, okay? Inference comes from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of intent, right? When somebody does something intuitively, that is because they have built the repetitions and the effort behind those repetitions to do it without thinking. That is called excellence, mastery, high skill level, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? But that is where it comes from. It's not the other way around. You don't do something intuitively, you're just going to be ass. If you start with the intuition, you're never going to build the skill that the intuition can rely on. You're always going to be half-assing it, right? But what I wanted to discuss primarily, and again, like, I've been losing the plane consistently while I've been talking, or I've been losing everything consistently while I've been talking, but it's tilted correctly now. It's actually tilted quite correctly, and I do see the box a lot better, and I am seeing the XYZ axis that is on the opposite plane, and I'm connecting it pretty decently now too. The main thing is just to ensure that, like, again, my convergence is a bit high. Like, right now, this side plane, I'm converging it like this, which is not that, it shouldn't be that converged. It should be more like that. Right, so like, I just said it was kind of more like this. I'm just trying to make it more subtle like that, right? Whether you can see the difference or not, that just means that if you can see the difference, cool, you have built your eye. If you can't see the difference, you have the opportunity to build your eye to see that difference, right? And now, while I'm thinking about this, before I even talk about what I was going to talk about, because we all know I'm going to take an hour to get to this point, because I'm thinking while drawing, and I'm speaking while thinking while drawing, right? So, and drawing is thinking, by the way, so I'm doubly thinking. It's just, no, that was just a mistake on my end. I'm just drawing, guys, i.e. thinking, right? But I need to think about the cross axes, right? I need to think about the vertical, horizontal, right? Vertical, horizontal, diagonal, and I need to, this is gonna grind the fuck out of my brain, but I need to, maybe I should use my finger instead of my pen. Maybe that will give it some more ink flow, right? But I need to think about it. Okay, so like, I'm grinding my brain right now. I've already lost the back planes, but I need to think about it. Oh, see, and again, like, you see it tilted it this way. Well, you don't know, so I'm saying right now, like, I keep tilting it the wrong way, so it needs to be tilted this way. It is much more tilted this way, right? This is the wrong tilt, and this is what my brain's used to. This is a schema my brain is used to. This is comfortable. This slight, like, fucking 20 millimeter change is extremely uncomfortable for my brain, because it is new, it is taxing, and it is difficult, which is exactly why I must lean into it, right? And again, I just did the outside again, but I should be doing the inside, and then the outside should be much more narrow, right? It should be much more narrow. So let me try to hold this. I'm going to try to hold this box as accurately as possible in my mind, and then we are going to, and this is really hard because, like, the tilt is already, and because the bottom plane keeps getting wider and wider rather than being narrow as it should be, right? But I'm going to try my best to see, and this is grinding my brain. This pit of discomfort. There you go. That's the pit I wanted. But this, I'm going to try to see this fuckery without the center lines and without the sphere and without the fucking face or whatever. I'm gonna try to see all the cross axes and all the center lines inside of it. And this, okay, this is amazing. This is exactly what I want. This is the pit in my stomach. I don't know. I'm just so used to holding my pen while I do this, right? But this is so difficult because I can't see anything, but I'm constantly calculating. I'm constantly calculating. And again, my fucking mind just immediately tilted it this way, so I need to tilt it that way. And you feel good when you make these mistakes, by the way. You feel very good when you make these mistakes. This is how you attach dopamine to errors, because when you attach dopamine to errors and acetylcholine is released, norepinephrine is released, it signals to your brain that, hey, you're attaching dopamine to these other chemicals, right? And this height of discomfort, the friction that the brain is avoiding, this needs to be paid attention to. The synapses need to be pruned. They must get stronger. Myelination is occurring, where your myelin sheath is getting thicker, because we're trying to understand, right? This is all fucking, like, I don't know the exact science behind it, but all these buzzwords, just know that your brain's fucking learning when you attach dopamine to errors. You just feel good. You're just forcing yourself to feel good, right? And I'm trying to see through the form. I'm trying to see I'm trying to see all the cross axes and everything. I'm really trying to see. And again, my brain really is trying to make this bottom plane much larger than it actually is. So I need to keep being like, no. And again, like the second I make, and even this bottom plane, you can see it's wrong in the sense that, like, I keep making it that this bottom plane that I keep drawing as like a reference point, like my brain's trying to do this, it just goes to show that it keeps wanting to tilt it this way when the tilt is actually that way, right? So more than anything, the bottom plane is actually more like this, right? There you go. This is the box. This is the seen-through box, right? Obviously, I didn't do it perfectly there, but that, like, me just trying to calculate this is incredibly difficult, right? Because my brain is just not used to a very, very, very minimal bottom plane, right? Like a very narrow bottom plane in such a subtle perspective, which is why I chose this fucking angle, which is why I chose this portrait reference, because it is so subtle, right? But now I'm trying to think, I'm just gonna lean into it a little bit longer. I really need to feel this pit of discomfort. Because I lost it, now I need to be back into it, and I need to really feel this pit of discomfort in my stomach. And I'm trying to visualize all the different cross axes as much as I can, right? Like, I'm really trying to visualize it, right? And and I'm trying to get the back angle too, right? And that's converging, and it's more wider, and I'm really trying to fucking visualize everything all at once, and it's grinding my brain. And again, the angle went this way, so I need to tilt it back, right? I'm really trying to fucking visualize. Holy shit, I'm trying to hold this, and this is like fucking, dude, this is so difficult. This pit of discomfort's amazing, right? So never forget, like, we are witnessing our learning, right? You are literally, you're jumping into the discomfort, and this is when you attach good feelings. This is when you attach dopamine. I just force myself to feel good right now, because this is where learning occurs. And this is exactly where, again, because I'm trying to see this diagonal, this vertical, this horizontal. That's the back right plane, right? This is the visible plane. This is the invisible plane that I'm seeing right now, right? And again, immediately my look at that. It's such a drastic bottom plane. It's like, no, it's way more subtle. Fuck, I don't drop my pen. God damn it. This is way more subtle, right? But okay, let me rest my brain, and then I'm actually gonna draw the box. 22 minutes. I haven't done anything physically, but the mental workout, very, very difficult, and that is actually where the amount of mental effort I put is what's allowed me to, again, draw this. I don't draw this shit. I don't have a visual library, right? I actually don't draw any of this stuff. I tax my brain. I'm trying to achieve a fucking 3D simulation in my mind, right? And then I observe the world around me, because the more complexity you can create in your mind, more complexity you can spatially reason and apply, the more complexity you can observe and analyze and break down easier, and then create your own designs or create your own things. And right now, obviously, you can tell my geometric designs are much better than my organic designs, but just because it's not designed well at all, by the way. I want to be very clear. Like, I know none of this is really designed well, but the point is, the better you understand complexity via spatial reasoning, form, perspective, the better you can apply it and analyze it and break down the complexity around you, right? Yeah, like, I always want to keep making that point, because that's been my experience, and I believe it is a true experience. I believe it is a more correct experience, right? In terms of, like, the ROI, right? Art is not wishy-washy, right? Art is not a fucking, like, I use this example all the time, but you don't just smear your dick on the page and you have a fucking Picasso painting, right? It just doesn't work that way. You know, you have to at least do it 5 times, and most people miss the repetitions, right? But anyways, just rest your brain, please. So yeah, let me actually try to get to the fucking point of what I was saying. Bruh, my fucking arms are so sore. My fucking stupid friends made me do like 50 curls with like 15-pound dumbbells, right? And it's like junk volume, honestly. Like it's good and all, but like my arms, this is like the fucking DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness I'm feeling in my bicep, is basically what I experienced 10 years ago when I first started lifting at 17, right? In 2015, right? I was curling with 10 pounds then too, and I would just do like 100 curls a fucking day or some shit, like some retarded shit like that. And my arms are so sore, I can't even extend them. It's the same shit right now, right? Works when you're in high school. It doesn't really make sense. For me anymore. But anyways, while I'm going to talk about what I was going to talk about, I'm going to think, and I'm going to put down this first line, right? We're just going to put down this first line, and we're going to get it as accurately as we can, right? And while I'm making this line, I'm still trying to think through and think about the form. Okay, so this pen is just retarded. It's just not working. For all the shit I talk, I love this pen. Like, I love Pentel, and I love this brush pen, right? I just call it the Kim Jong-il brush pen, right? Because I guess you could say popularized it, right? But in regards to what I'm talking about, and you can see I'm going through this extreme mental taxation, right? This extreme cognitive memory, the cognitive working memory, right? This cognitive effort, this working memory. And my speech is getting slurred, by the way. My speech is, of course, going to get slurred. See, like slurred, as I continue to tax my brain. And while I make this line, I'm trying to immediately visualize the rest of the box, right? And it's very difficult. And I already made this angle a bit more drastic than it needs to be. It's a little bit more subtle. It should have been more like this. But either way, it's only slightly off the diagonal. But either way, yeah, as I was saying, right, like, and I'm trying to visualize this box as accurately as possible, and I am trying to add some convergence to it, right? And while I'm making these lines, I'm really trying to think about the box overall, right? Thinking about the depth, thinking about everything that is applied to it, right? Very fun, very, very fun. And I'm also obviously trying to think about the side plane and like the ratio between the front plane and the side plane, right? But let's see, something like this. Oh, see, I missed the mark because I couldn't even see this line, so I literally missed the mark, but it's okay. Fuck it, we'll use the other pen, bro. I need the fucking lines to be at least halfway decent, right? But what I'm trying to say is, in regards to me doing all this excessive taxing mental effort, right? This is what many would call, because this is like once I realized what I needed to do, like once I've realized the extent of draftsmanship that I have now set out on the path of accomplishing, right? And while I'm focusing on this line, I'm trying to zoom out and like think about the entire thing. But like once I've realized now that this is like this, more than anything, this is the path, right? For me to truly solidify, Jesus Christ, a geometric mental model, a mental simulation, a 3D simulation of sheer spatial reasoning in my mind, right? The more I've understood this, the more I've just been taking into account that, like, okay, since I've understood this is the path, right? This sheer intentional fucking geometric calculation in my mind, right, of everything. While I'm looking at this, I'm immediately starting, because now this is like a baseline. This actually gives me a lot more to think about, right? It makes it a lot easier. It's freed up a lot of cognitive energy when it comes to thinking about the box, right? So I'm seeing through the form, and immediately I'm trying to also yeah, like I'm seeing through the form, and again, my brain is stopping this line, like the back plane here, but it should be higher up, like here, right? Because that's the only way this is gonna be connecting, like so. It's stopping right here. Actually, no, this is relatively accurate. Never mind, right? And see, like I thought I was right, and then I course corrected, and I was like, oh wait, no, I was correct the first time around. I'm wrong now, right? But while I'm thinking about that, I'm immediately starting to think about the cross, you know, this diagonal, this vertical, this horizontal, diagonal, this thing, right? This thing is like extremely difficult. It's like diagonal and then like vertical, like very thin, because it's so narrow, and then horizontal that way, right? And I'm trying to think about the back plane as well. So while I'm talking, I'm immediately starting to think about all this, right? To the best of my ability, you know, but what I'm trying to say is, and you're always trying to say things, Biggie, but you never accomplish it. You're right, you're absolutely right. But what I'm trying to say is that this is the quote-unquote boring middle. And I'm saying quote-unquote because it actually isn't boring. It's a very stimulating middle, right? But what the boring middle refers to, and it isn't boring, I'm gonna keep saying it, it's difficult. It's not boring, it's difficult. Let's say that one more time for the dipshits in the back, right? It is not boring, it is difficult. You expected it to be easy, and you expected it to take less time than it actually would, but it's taking not only 10 times more time than you could have even fathomed it would, it is actually 10 times more difficult than you even had an inkling of when you first started, right? But this is the price of excellence. You know, this is the price of mastery, and this is the price of becoming fucking halfway decent in anything, right? And again, while I'm drawing these, I'm really trying to think about the overall form and see through the form, think about all the calculations. Right? I'm trying. Am I succeeding? Possibly not. Very likely not. Almost definitely not. But I'm trying really, really, really hard, and this is while narrating as well, right? But this is the boring middle. Like this is, and I want to say that to anybody listening, drawing along, watching, whatever your boring middle is, because I want to tell you again, this is basically the 2.0, fucking version 2.0 of what I went through when it came to first learning boxes and cylinders. And it's on, you know, the video I have, right, on my year 1 to 2 playlist. This is a video for beginner artists. You are not alone. That experience I went through there, which is like no end in sight. It literally felt like no end in sight because of how difficult the task was. And I hope you understand now, like just the amount of cognitive effort I put towards that is the same here, which is me just constantly calculating, putting down line, calculating, putting down line, trying to visualize, trying to understand. Even now, like what am I thinking of? Thinking about this top plane projected from this bottom one, right? And I'm trying to think about the diagonal, vertical, horizontal, and I'm trying to project that out here and do the same thing, right? To this back plane, and the front plane. I'm trying to see all of it all at once. And it's extremely taxing to my mind, and that's exactly the price of excellence. Is especially in art and especially in spatial reasoning, it is taxation. It is cognitive taxation, right? Like that is the name of the game, and you are capable of playing that game, but we must set our expectations straight. See, I diverged this. That's wrong. That's wrong. And I thought I was correct, but I'm not correct. I'm wrong. This is a diverged line because that's going this way, and this is going slightly by a millimeter off. Actually, I don't. Maybe it's not diverged. Maybe it's just parallel, right? But still incorrect. Absolutely incorrect, right? And same thing here. Like, and while I'm drawing this, I'm zoomed in on the line, but I'm trying to zoom out and think about the calculations that exist as well, right? So there you go. There's my box, right? There is my box. And this might actually be an inaccurate box as well, because I'm still trying to understand the planes and how they foreshorten, how they change in depth and size and degrees, right, as I go about it. But now it's just purely thinking about the seen through form, and then thinking about every single calculation in that seen through form, right? So diagonal, vertical, horizontal. This is the back plane projected out from this one. Same thing here, right? Diagonal, vertical, horizontal. Same thing here. Diagonal. I mean, vertical and horizontal is really fucking subjective. Like, it only makes sense here. But once we get to the top planes, I guess it's just like, fucking, this is vertical, this is horizontal, who fucking knows, right? But I'm trying to hold it all in my mind right now. But in regards to the topic of the boring middle, what I'm trying to say is this is where excellence is forged. And I want to say right now, this is, for the next 100 to 200 hours / parts minimum, is me building this intense cognitively demanding, spatially, excellently, geometrically, spatially reasoned mental simulation in all angles, right? And this is what separates those who understand and embrace the not only uncertainty, but the absolute repetition and sheer effort that it requires, and those who have their expectations skewed and think that it's going to be a lot easier. No shortcuts here, okay? No shortcuts, right? Like, there's no, like, people who look for shortcuts are people who do not get the skills that they want. But generally, people who look for shortcuts don't even understand what it takes to get skilled in the first place, right? And again, while I'm talking, I'm thinking about this backplane, I'm thinking about the scene through form. My eyes are extremely warm right now, and that pit of discomfort isn't there yet. So what do I need to do? I need to start seeing every single cross-axis, right? Now, there it is. Immediately the second I tried seeing every single cross-axis, my girlfriend just coughed. She's sleeping on the bed right now. She came over while my parents were gone. Don't tell them. But oh, she's giggling right now. She's trying to sleep, but obviously I'm fucking distracting her with my bullshit. But anyways, that also makes a master draftsman. You must ignore everybody who's around you, right? Just focus on the lines, bro. I'm just a fucking dickhead yelling at a piece of paper while I'm trying to see invisible lines that don't exist, right? But anyways, see, like, I'm trying to see the backplane, I'm trying to see everything around it, and now I'm trying to really just for a moment, not for a moment, but for as long of a moment as I can possibly muster, I must embrace this extreme discomfort and try seeing every single cross-section, right, or cross-axis line, right, like this vertical, horizontal, diagonal, but projected on every single visible plane and invisible plane, right? And when I point here, it's projected from this one. When I point here, it's projected from this one. When I point up here, it's projected from this one, right? And I have built, and I'm building over hours and hours and hours, and will continue to build over hundreds of hours, the ability to see this in my mind. And that's what I want to give you as encouragement, is that it is hundreds of hours, and that is okay, because nothing worth doing to any degree of excellence should take time that is less than what is required to reach that level of excellence. I.e., It's gonna take time. That's a good thing. And no one else is gonna do it, so you might as fucking well, because that is your competitive advantage, right? If we're gonna think about it from a competitive landscape, right? But anyways, I'm trying to think about the convergences as well, because I'm slightly converging this. I am not converging this as much, this vanishing point here, like this plane, as much as I am here. So that's just another mistake as well. But let me just try to lean into it. I need to feel that pit of discomfort, try to see every single cross section at once. And just for a second, I'm like seeing quite a fucking bit, right? And again, I'm not seeing all of it. It's constantly oscillating. Like I'm maybe seeing maximum three, usually two, but maximum 3 at a time. But I'm constantly like everywhere, like I'm just, my eyes are just slightly like fucking millimeter darting all over the place to see everything, right? To just see everything. And this is even, I haven't even thought about the ellipses yet, because the next step after trying to see this properly and trying to hold this in my mind properly is, and again, like it's really hard for me to see this extremely narrow line in the center here, right? And this extremely narrow line in the center here, but that's because it's easier. This is a much wider degree, wider plane, right? And again, you can see I stopped here, but that's wrong. It needs to be over here, right? Because that's where this back plane is, but my finger stopped here, so that's incorrect. Mistake. I can get better. I can learn. I can feel good about that, right? And this is like an anchor point for all of them, but that you probably noticed. I mean, if anybody actually watches or fucking follows along from previous sessions, you'll notice, especially from yesterday, that I'm purely just looking at the page now, right? I'm just looking and I'm trying to not ghost, not because I dislike ghosting, but because I'm trying to tax my working memory to the absolute core, right? I don't think that makes sense. Tax to the absolute core. I say everything like absolute core. That doesn't fucking make sense, does it? But anyways, that's just a hashtag Vicky Famming ting, right? I said that's just a hashtag Vicky Famming ting. My accents, my voices, my nasally ass speech doesn't really translate through well. I don't know why my voice sounds so fucking nasally on my videos. Maybe that's what I actually sound like, depressing. But anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain. I've been fucking grinding that shit, but I need to grind it more. I need to push even further. And grind is not a bad word, by the way. It just means sheer cognitive effort, which everybody is capable of. You're all capable of this, and what I'm doing is nothing special. I genuinely believe that, right? And I only say that because I've noticed that some might think this is special or insane, but it's not special. The specialness comes from doing it to the best of your ability as often as you can and believing in yourself. I think that's where the special part comes from, is like believing in yourself, right? And very few people, when they are in this long, quote unquote, boring, i.e. extremely stimulating and difficult, right, middle, don't believe in themselves. So, and at times, I also, like, every day I'm just like, fuck, man, am I actually gonna, like, I'm being completely honest here. Every fucking day outside of the session, I'm just like, am I really gonna make it? Like, am I even just gonna achieve even fucking, like, 1/10 of my quote-unquote, like, goal, in the sense that goal is just the reason to build the skill, right? But, like, these goals that I have to draw amazingly and all that shit, right? But then it's just like, when I'm in the zone, when I'm exerting sheer effort, all that goes out the window, because that's the real me. When I'm fucking trying and I'm saying all these things, this is what actually matters. My mentality and my mindset when I'm actually here trying. Even when I'm talking right now, I'm constantly trying to see all these like cross axis and like the bottom plane, the front plane, the back plane, the side plane, the visibles, invisibles, right? But, and again, like, oh, immediately my mind just created this line to go like this. Like this line projected out here, right? Made it go this way. Same with this one. Completely wrong. So that's an opportunity for me to A, feel good because I made a mistake, and B, just be like, oh no, just correct it, hold the anchor point. Anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain. My fucking my forehead's warm as shit, bro. Rest your brain as well, please. What is? She's sleeping? I wonder if my girlfriend's sleeping. I want to shit talk her, but I don't know if she's wearing headphones. Oh, she's awake and she's staring me down. It was a joke. It was just a joke. I love you. Oh, she's flipping me off. Fuck. The life of a YouTuber, right? But anyways, so another thing I can give you as a point of, I guess, confidence, reassurance, because somebody actually commented on my video. They commented on my shorts. You know who you are, right? For part 119, portrait part 119, you can literally click on it and be like, oh yeah, this is the person he's talking about, right? But this person commented on my shorts being like, I want to subscribe because I like your attitude or something like that, right? And then and it's like I mentioned artwod and they like my attitude, so they just subscribed without even realizing. And I'm like, haha, yes, the hashtag Vicky Famming personalities is trapping everybody, right? And again, while I'm talking, I'm trying to think about this seen through form, and the first step is trying to see through the form, right? Because the box already exists, so it makes it so much easier. But now the next step is really to try to see every single fucking cross-axis, right? And I'm gonna try to do this while I'm talking, so it's gonna be very difficult. But this person basically said, I like seeing videos like this with the process because it makes me feel less alone. That's exactly the point of my fucking channel, is to give me body double. Give me retention, yes, that's what I was trying to avoid, but it's too late. Real thoughts come out, but you guys all know my real thoughts. I just want your fucking money and your watch hours, right? And to perhaps, you know, maybe like 1% inspire and let you know that you can draw too. Maybe that's just like a tiny bit of it, who knows? But, but they basically said they like knowing how long it takes. So I'm telling you, this is how long it takes. And that is, again, the competitive advantage. And the real advantage is like, nobody else will go down this path. I don't know why I said it like that. Nobody else will go down this path. Think about it, right? And let's see, I'll get this diagonal, vertical, horizontal. And I'm trying to think about, I guess it's time to, really, I guess what I need to do is force my brain to think about the center lines as well, the center planes and them intersecting, because this is what's going to allow me to, and I'm already starting to think about it. I'm thinking about this one, right? And I need to see through the form. I need to see it from the opposite seen through side, right? But oh, this is good. This is actually what's really grinding my brain to, and again, like immediately this center line in the center plane, right? I went this way, but that's completely wrong. It needs to be completely narrow, right? Much straighter. Anyways, much straighter. But the competitive advantage is the fact that nobody else is going to do this. Right? Think about it. How many fucking beginners do you see on the internet always bitching about the fact that they have to work to get good at something? How many? The answer is fucking nearly all of them, right? Absolute pussies who don't know actually how to try. So I'm telling you, much like myself, when I was a complete pussy who didn't know how to try and gave up on art twice for years, right? I tried for a week each time. First time was for a week. Second time was for, oh my god, 6 weeks. So good. So much fucking effort, right? No, shut the fuck up. Okay? Try for 600 weeks and then talk, you know? And even then, when you do try for 600 weeks, the only speech you'll say is, I need to try harder because there's so much to learn. And you say that with a fucking smiley face, right? So much to learn, happy face. Not so much to learn, sad face, right? Expectation, I want to be the best at art. Reality, I will never be the best, and that's okay. I don't know why. Fucking always end up giving them Caillou hair, right? The fucking cancer hair. But anyways, right? It's all mentality. It's really all mentality. And this is the only, like, I'm just going to try to say it as many ways as possible. And hopefully one of those will stick, one of those will resonate, parts of those will resonate. Not everything I say has to hold true to how you think, but if parts strongly resonate, fucking take it, okay? It does not have to be black and white. I've noticed this is like a thing on the internet. Like if somebody says one thing that you don't agree with, immediately everything they say is no. That's fucking retarded, stupid, and lacks critical thinking, right? I dislike 60% of this person, right? But they're credible, and about 20% of what they said really resonates with me. I'm gonna not give a fuck about them, but that 20% I'm gonna fucking take, and that's fine, right? Not saying I'm credible, but if I have displayed any credibility, right, and I say things that seem to matter, or parts of them that seem to matter, fucking take it, right? You will take advice and you will listen to it and you will interpret and you'll consolidate and create your own fucking opinions anyways, right? But that doesn't mean it has to be completely original. Originality does not exist. There's no fucking originality. If you want to be original, go back to like 6,000 years ago when you're drawing on cave paintings and shit. You can be original then, right? Because you haven't figured out perspective, line, form, value, gesture, composition, design, none of that. Then you can be like, there you go, I had an original thought. But right now, the only fucking original thought is Kim Kardashian. I didn't know where to go with that. I just thought original thought would be funny. But yeah, I had no follow up to that. I ended up going somewhere, and then I was like, you know, that's a pretty funny way to end it. But anyways, I'm really need to fucking think about the cross axis. So let me just grind my brain. The point is, fucking TLDR, keep going. You can do it. Keep trying. Put in the fucking effort, right? And do it because nobody else will. And build the character of someone who will do it because nobody else will, right? Simple as that. So, simple, not easy. Again, simple, not easy. That's all of art. All fundamentals. Oh, that's so stupid. That's so boring. That's so simple. Nope, it is actually like, yeah, and yes, it is simple. No, not stupid. No, not boring. But yes, very simple and extremely difficult. Like absolutely extremely difficult. Therefore, the effort is all that matters. Right? I don't know, my voice sounds like this. Therefore, the effort is all that matters. There you go. the effort is all that matters. There you go. That's my deep voice. Right? But anyways, I'm really trying to see the 3 center planes now. I'm really trying to calculate the 3 center planes. And again, you see, I started with the invisible side and then I went to the visible. So I need to do the other way. Right? And this is actually going to help me with the cross axis as well. Like really visualize them. Same thing with this side over here. Right? This is the diagonal. So I need to see this. And then I need to see this. And then it's coming in the center. Right, and then the horizontal is this way, this way, right, and then this, and this is obviously a wider degree than this, but less wide of a degree than the top plane, right, because it is converging, of course. but I need to really fucking grind my brain and to just try to see everything all at once. And it is getting slightly easier, but I need to feel that pit of discomfort. It's back now, right? So I need to lean into this and just letting you know I'm trying to see this entire thing minus the spheres and the ellipses, minus the sphere and the ellipse and obviously the face, right? But I'm just trying to see everything. This fuckery is what I'm trying to see, right? So let's lean into it as much as possible. Bless me, because I can't really, like, I'm not gonna try to narrate just for a second, right? Just so you understand, like, but just know that I'm trying to do that, just because I really want to grind my brain, right? But let's oh, my vision's fading, Jesus Christ, or it's getting blurry, right? But let's try to calculate to the best of our ability, right? And try to hold the seen through form all at once. And I'm trying to see every single side. Am I seeing it? No, but I'm trying to see every single side, right? I'm really trying to see it, really trying to fucking see it. And now I'm trying to see the 3 center planes, right? We just did the cross axis for every visible and invisible plane. Now we have to think about the center plane, which is already part of the cross axes and the connections, by the way, but they are their own chunked component, which my brain has not been able to concurrently to chunk it, which is why we must will it. We must force this connection to occur such that the synapses get pruned, such that your brain consolidates the information, such that it turns these individual units into consolidated chunked components, i.e. a la neuroplasticity, right? This is why this friction is incredibly difficult, and I'm feeling it right now, which is good, right? Like, I'm feeling this incredible friction in my brain. And that's exactly like, oh bro, this is so fucking difficult. Because the second I start thinking about the 3 center planes, by the way, I can't think of all of them at once. I can only think of them one at a time, right? But the second I start thinking about it, I lose like everything, right? Everything, voice crack, everything. So let me just try. Let me try, because that's all I can do. Try to hold it. Just try to hold it. I need to really lean into this. I need to really fucking lean into this. And it's all going all over the place. The lines are going wrong. That's all over the fucking place. I'm losing it all. But I'm trying to just conceptualize it. Jesus Christ, my girlfriend's retching her throat. That's disgusting. Take care of your throat, baby. I love you. But anyways, yeah, good thing the noise canceling cuts that out, but we don't be hearing that shit. This is an art progress channel. But anyways, she's gonna beat my ass after this. But anyways, I'm trying to visualize this center plane, right? This one, and then this one, right? And then okay, yes, and see like the other one as well, the horizontal one. And I'm getting a headache. I'm literally getting a fucking headache trying to do this. But this is exactly the price it takes. It's not the headache itself, but just like the headache is obviously, it's not an actual headache, but it's pressure because my working memory is absolutely fucking taxed right now. It's absolutely taxed. And I'm narrating this while I'm doing this. I love how I said I wasn't gonna narrate, but I guess I'm just so used to fucking talking while I draw now, right? I might as well just keep taxing my working memory with both facets of my prefrontal cortex and parietal lobe, right? Cognitive endurance, everybody. Just cognitive endurance. Male-oriented fucking shit joke, right? Because that's all guys talk about is dick. But anyways, let me try to hold this for another 5 seconds. Really try to hold it. Really fucking try to hold it. It's already all lost, but I'm trying to hold this semblance of the idea of the calculation, if that makes sense, right? And just push that. Okay, holy shit. That was very difficult. 47 minutes for just a box. Of course, what you can see, but that's why I keep saying drawing is thinking. And again, I want to be very clear. You do not have to think to this extent of the amount of things I'm thinking about, and it should be based on what you're currently focusing on, right? If you're focusing on one vanishing point and one plane trying to go to that one vanishing point, right, in one point perspective, and you're like, fuck man, it's so hard to think about the horizon line. My horizon line's like this big, and my vanishing point's here, and my box is only, or my plane is only here, right? There's like a fucking, like not even an inch difference. Then that is so much opportunity to expand the horizon line, right? Have different angles of different points of the vanishing point along that horizon line over hundreds of hours, right? Or at least dozens of hours at the very minimum, at least dozens of hours, right? And make the distance from the vanishing point and the plane much further away, right? That's an incredible opportunity, you know? Like, and that is a lot of thinking. That's a lot of thinking. That's also, like for me personally, that's also basically its own version of like a dozen calculations or something like that, right? But again, your brain chunks that information. I don't have to think about the vanishing point explicitly because I've already put 100 hours into thinking about it explicitly, right? But now I don't. It is intuitive, which is just crystallized knowledge that's been compounded and been consolidated in your brain as a chunked unit of information and muscle memory, right? So now if I wanted to, okay, there you go. If just like that, and just like that, I can see vanishing point here, right? Vanishing point here, further away. Obviously, vanishing point way further away because this is much more parallel, right? And vanishing point like somewhere up here. I can see it. I know exactly where it is. I literally know exactly where it is, and it's like fucking twice the size of the goddamn page. But it took 100 hours to get there. right? And I am now like, I'm 1,000 hours into practice. It took more than 100 hours, probably took 300 hours, 400 hours, right? Again, this is a video for beginner artists, shows all the fucking work I did to really just keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. Same shit, my guy, same shit, my girl as well, right? Because this is a family-friendly Christian channel. Has nothing to do with anything. I'm actually just quoting Modest Pelican. But I as you can see, I have nothing to say of value, and my brain is tired. Fucking Jesus, rest your brain. I'm talking to me and you, fuck me. Well, I also want to be clear that when I say I'm getting a headache with a pit of discomfort, that is output regression, right? This is output regression. Output regression is when metabolic exhaustion, I have like notes because I want to always keep iterating this to myself and to anybody who's listening or who's curious, right? But output regression is when metabolic exhaustion occurs when okay, fuck, I said it wrong. Metabolic exhaustion occurs when output regression happens. That is the physical manifestation of the glycogen stores hitting their ceiling, causing your brain's rendering engine to lose fidelity. Right? But this is where your brain learns. Like, output regression is the goal, right? Output regression, where you cannot fucking think, see, render, calculate anything, but you're trying so fucking hard, because that is literally the moment where your brain's like, bro, like fucking error, what's going on? We can't figure this out, like literally nothing's happening. And that is literally when neuroplasticity is at its peak. That is when myelination is at its peak, and that is the moment to attach dopamine to errors. Of all the moments, you're always attaching dopamine to errors, but that is the moment to be like, this is fucking amazing. TLDR, or IE, fucking to shorten it, right? We train our brain to enjoy every moment of friction that occurs, right? And we chase the feeling of friction. Like, think about it. How, like, if you ever want to know, like, how the fuck is this guy, quote unquote, progressing so fast? Or like, how's his understanding of form so good? I mean, Broken Draw himself has mentioned that my understanding of form in a couple of his streams is like really good, right? And he's saying that, and I consider his fucking understanding of form to be very good. So I guess it's like a pat on the back circle jerk, right? But he himself, as of 2026, this is like the context, right? Because I don't know if he says anything beyond this, right? But he is saying my understanding of form is really good. And he's saying like, wow, my progress is crazy or whatever, right? Like, and like he even says like the things I do with, remember when I was doing the hinges and shit? Like when I showed that to him because I talked to him and he's like, I can't do that shit, bro, what the fuck, right? Like you literally have an opportunity, like you can go so fucking far, you know? Like, your understanding of form is crazy. But the reason for that is and I hope it's very explicit throughout all these videos, is just, this guy just thinks hard as fuck. And he just uses science to his advantage. He thinks hard as fuck, he chases the friction, he feels good about the friction, he tries to stay in the friction as long as possible, he does that, and then after he does that, he rests his brain. And then he tries again, right? Like, that's it. Rinse and repeat for fucking hundreds of hours, right? That is literally how you learn faster, or as fast, but definitely most likely equally as fast, right? As a child who just picks up a language within 2 years because they're a fucking baby and they're just absorbing everything, right? Same shit. It's just sheer fucking effort, right? Sheer fucking effort, right? And before some dipshit says like, but what about talent? Everybody has a natural disposition of something. That's called genetic variety. Congratulations. You've cracked the genome code. I'm so proud of you that you discovered that some people will be able to make pleasing shapes faster than you will. And you'll be able to discern details that they cannot faster, right? It's all fucking pattern recognition and proclivity, an affinity, right? Fucking giant titty, like whatever the fuck, right? It's all just, talent is literally just a 15 to 20% boost towards understanding something at baseline, right? But that boost means jack shit because it does not hold a candle to mastery. It literally does not hold a candle to mastery. And once you learn how to learn, you can understand how to break everything down that somebody might have a quote unquote talent in, or what you even have a talent in. Like, I have a talent towards being patient. Why? Because I just really wanted to draw when I was a kid. I didn't even draw that much, but when I did, I took fucking hours to make the same thing that would take my peers 40 minutes, 50 minutes. But I took hours because my lines were really scratchy. I could not make proportions correctly, but I was just really patient, constantly looking back and forth between the reference, constantly, not actually thinking, but just super patient with my really shitty, inefficient way of figuring it out. That was my talent, my proclivity, my affinity, my inclination to be like, okay, I'm just gonna wait this out, right? And now that I know the behavior of patience, which is just fucking thinking and trying as hard as you can while you're doing the thing, I have been able to improve my proclivity and become more patient than I was before, right? More attentive to detail than I was before, right? Somebody who understands shapes or just knows or has an inclination to make pleasing shapes, which results in better designs initially, right? And somebody else who doesn't, the person who doesn't can A, learn from the person who does, B, understand the principles of that skill, and C, just go ham and spend hundreds of fucking hours getting better at it. Voila, now they're both fucking great, right? And the person who worked harder is most definitely, in my opinion, fucking better, right? People always say hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. A, true, but even if talent does work hard, that's a good thing, because that quote, that proclivity, that inclination is now fulfilling its potential, right? And everybody has different varying levels of potential across different proclivities that they have the ability to fulfill, right? That is why human variety, that is why artistic variety, artistic voice is so unique, because everybody has a different affinity. And even if you don't, congratulations, you're the first person who doesn't have an affinity towards everything, and you still fucking worked your ass off to get better. Be proud of yourself, right? Same shit. And while I'm talking, by the way, I've been trying to see through this form. It's been very difficult. That's what happens when I go on my tangents. But anyways, I need to grind my brain again. I need to really see. Now, the main thing is there's only 50 minutes, so I got to really see these center planes. I got to see the 3 center plane intersection, right? Like this. I have to see this. Right, I have to see this plane, and this is obviously dramatization. Do not try this at home. Right, I have to see this plane, and then I have to see this plane. Right, I have to see this intersection, right? And then I have to see the ellipses inside of them. Right? I have to see the ellipses inside of them, like so. And then I have to connect the dots, literally connect the dots, like the edges. When I mean by dots, I mean literally the edges into a perfect sphere. That is fucked. That is absolutely fucked. That is literally as fucked as it can be. And that's why I'm gonna stick my dick in it. Let's fucking go. Let's go, 6-7, 6-7, right? It used to be let's fucking go was a thing, LFG, and now it's this new fucking stupid shit. Anyways, like I just need to think. Anyways, so let me think. Let me do the thing that I said I was trying to do. Just think as hard. Think of fucking Mike Tyson's spinal. Let's think, right? There you go, good shit. But dude, my brain is fucking dead. But anyways, let's think as hard as we can. Right? I'm trying to hold the 3-point intersection. I keep starting on the visible side, and you start on the invisible side, right? And I need to make sure that it's connected properly, right? Like this anchor, this right here, that's holding it all together, right? For this top plane, that's connecting it, right? Like I need to make sure that makes as much sense as I could possibly make it make sense, right? And again, I always make it a tendency to make it lower than it actually is, which makes it diverge. So obviously you need to make it higher as well, and keep that in mind. So let's hold that, and then let's think about the 3-plane intersection. And this is, again, my ears are getting warm, my mind is hurting, or not hurting, but it's very, very strained, and the 3-plane intersection is really hard to see, but I'm trying to see it to the best of my ability, and I keep doing the visible side for this side, so I need to make it the invisible side again. Whew, okay, so I need to think about that, because again, this is the part where my brain, this is the bottleneck for my current working memory capacity, is seeing this entire thing. Like this, wow, what a surprise that this entire fuckery is the bottleneck. But that's why, like, when I go past this, trying to hold the 3 center planes, and then also trying to see the ellipses inside of them, it's basically like I'm spent. That's like my last fucking 1% of cognitive energy being eked out, right? Like it's being fucking like squeezed out. You know, like a rag that has water, and you're like it's like that. Except there's like fucking 2 dribbles, and that's what I'm basically outputting right now. Is like trying to use those 2 dribbles as efficiently as possible to put the 3 center planes into one consolidated unit, and it's so difficult. It's so fucking difficult. But I'm trying to put the 3 center planes as one consolidated unit, and I'm trying to, and again, like this center plane, I can barely fathom that, because again, anything that's front facing here, I'd project it outward. I haven't practiced that center plane at all, right? So I need to keep thinking about that. I need to keep thinking about that. I need to try to get the pit of discomfort's back in my stomach, and I need to think about all of them all at once. I need to think about these 3, and then I need to put the ellipses inside of them, and this is so fucking difficult, right? This is so difficult, because again, the goal is to be able to see this extremely proficiently in clarity, like just like that, like a fused mental model, such that it opens up like 80% of my brain energy to actually think about fusing these 3 together, right? Like the 3 center planes together and putting the ellipse inside of them and then connecting them via a sphere. So, yeah, that was... Okay, so like I could barely do that, but I'm just gonna rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. Like I could barely do that, I'll be completely honest. Like it was extremely straining. I really tried leaning into it, but my mind is spent, right? Because that's drawing. My mind is spent, right? Again, the mileage, this is very important. Don't get me wrong, but this is 40% of it, in my opinion, right? The thinking is literally the rest. But I'm gonna rest my brain, and then we're just gonna try to think about the sphere. It's like I'm trying to not guess, but it's basically a guess considering how everything else held in my mind is so difficult to hold, right? So it's basically like a guesstimate. and then I'm gonna draw the features, right? Which is again trying to think about the fucking Loomis proportions within that sphere, and then try to place these 3D shapes, right, of the features on top of it, and then try to keep proportions in mind as well, and try to basically draw features on top of this mental model, which is already difficult to hold. Fucking 50 calculations basically at that point. But yeah, let's rest our brains. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Oh god, it's so good. This is like, again, I've trained myself to enjoy this, but it's taken years and it's a constant reinforcement, right? That's why my only expectation is to try, right? Once your only expectation is to fucking try, then you win. Because did you try? Yes. How hard did you try? Pretty hard. Could you have tried harder? Possibly. What does that mean? Great, let me try again tomorrow. Wonderful, you've achieved. That is, if achievement were to be a metric, then that metric is met by effort towards achievement, right? And the effort towards achievement, the way I break it down, is like the achievement isn't about like, did you do the thing? It's about, did you try to do the thing? And then did you evaluate your trying? And then try again, right? Based on that evaluation, right? And the trying again based on the evaluation, but what everybody has it wrong, especially if you're fucking average or below average like me, is like, okay, for example, right? I tried to draw a straight line, right? Okay, my expectation was that I expected to try, right? My expectation, as per my standard, is like, these are all the fucking people who have great line art that I look up to, or like, this is my standard for a good line, right? Did I meet it? No. Did I try to meet it? Yes. Where did I fall short? I can identify 2 to 3 things. There's probably a couple dozen, but I can only identify 2 to 3 things because that's how learning works. That's how, in general, when you have a lot of things to think about, you can really identify 2 to 3 things, maybe, right? Okay, let's try again. Next try. Oh, okay, it's still equally as shit, but I really tried. But now I know that I felt that I felt maybe like a millimeter of a difference, right? Maybe like a 5% difference. Maybe this line is actually much straighter here than it was here, right? It's more curved, but the rest is all garbage and this is all garbage. It's actually incredible how I did the exact same shitty line, but I literally made this straighter. That's incredible. I didn't even mean to do that. What a fucking amazing example I just made. But now it's like, okay, now you know what to focus on because you know those 2 to 3 things and you can just keep going. Before you know it, hundreds and hundreds of repetitions later, there you go. That's the sound effect that has to happen, right? And then even then, you'll notice like even more minor things. I can already point to like 8 things that are wrong about this line, right? Half of them starting with me. But anyways, let me just fucking grind my brain. Let's just try to get these ellipses in there and then just try to draw the features, right? So I'm just trying to hold this mental model as much as possible, right? I'm really, really, really trying to hold this mental model as much as possible, right? And let's try to get the... Oh god, that's so hard because I'm just thinking about this center ellipse right now, right? And this center plane, like this ellipse, and I just lost completely everything else, right? Right? What the fuck? Right? But and again, this box could very well be inaccurate. I feel as if it is inaccurate, but who knows, right? I'm still learning. I'm still learning. That's always a cop out, right? You're always just learning. I feel like I know nothing, right? But okay, fuck it. Let's just try to get some semblance of okay, because I think the edge is right here, right? Because if this is my sphere, or this is my ellipse in the plane, right? It's like this is this edge, and then this one is right around here. So this has to be the edge, I believe. And this is my center line, right? So this is my eyebrow. So let's just start with drawing this dickhead's eyebrow, right? So let's start with... And then I gotta get the center line as well, actually. I gotta get the center of his face as well, which should be right around here. So there you go. This is the other eyebrow. And this is where I can actually use... or try to think about the proportions based on all these calculations that I'm doing, right? That's the center line, I'm pretty sure. So I'm trying to think about this center ellipse, or I'm really trying to think about it. And then I think, and I'm trying to keep it in perspective as well. What a fucking, goddamn, this is killing my brain. Never forget, I'm trying to think about dozens of calculations while then drawing features on top of it, bro. Just fucking kill me. In Minecraft, of course, but, or in GTA 6. Can't wait to be dead when that game comes out, but... As in, like, in the game, literally. Like, I'm actually curious about the animations. But anyways, and then I have to think about the proportions as well. So, like, if the sphere, I think the top of the sphere is, let's see, I think the top of the sphere is right around here somewhere, right? Because this one, ellipse, goes like this. And then this one goes like, it's like right, and this one goes see, like I already got it wrong in terms of where the line starts, but that center plane and this one goes roughly here. So it's like right around here, right? That's the top of the plane. So this is the forehead, right? This is the spacing to the forehead, the hairline. This is the eye line, and this is the nose line. And then where's the bottom of my ellipse? I think it's right around here somewhere. Or my bottom of my sphere based on the ellipses converging. Again, my brain does not have the capacity to think about this. So it is guesswork in a sense, right? It's like very vague guesswork, right? But it's still an attempt to calculate, right? So I think the bottom of the nose, see, it's like this is the hairline, right? This is the eyebrow line, and then this is the nose line. And this dickhead, give him a nice nose. Give him a very nice nose. Ah, shit, I fucked that up. But it's okay. And I just have to be aware of the fact that he has a nice little bump on his nose like me. Fuck, I made it too bumpy. This is actually a bit incorrect. Let's see, something like that, right? And again, I can't think at all. Like right now, you have to know my brain is in so much output regression. Like when I draw these features, this is basically me doing this after taxing my brain to the absolute extreme, right? So, and then let's see, the lips are right around here, and again, it's all based on and this is basically this is when this comes into play. Like this is the jaw part, right? Like the nose is here, and then the lips start here, right? And then you have lips here, and this is like the chin area, right? Again, this is all like vaguely based on what I know, right? I'm obviously gonna be min-maxing the fuck out of portraiture and understanding everything to the best of my ability. Once this mental masturbation, I mean this mental simulation gets cataloged. And I'm trying to think about this as a form as well. And of course, this pen with the thin ass lines is very difficult. And I'm also what the fuck? I'm also constantly looking back at the reference, right? So you have to know, like, I'm losing it consistently, right? Right now, I see nothing. I want to be very clear. I literally see nothing, but I'm trying so hard to see at least through the box. Like I'm at least trying to see through the box because it's very difficult, very difficult to see anything, right? Seems like in this angle, it's like basically the bottom, aligned with the bottom of the box itself, right? And let's see. And then this is obviously where my sphere is. So let's just give him that little fucking stupid brow ridge that doesn't even make sense. And then I'm trying to think in terms of the eyes, right? And this is all like, I know I'm being like super shit at my explanations. Wow, he's trying to think of the eyes. What a fucking genius. Congrats. Can you tell us what else you're thinking about? Are you thinking about the nose as well? Good job. Right? We want actual explanations. Thank you. What form? Well, right now there is no fucking form. I'm just trying to get the proportions accurate because I literally cannot think. I want to be very clear, right? So like you know that, hey, like this guy's fucking brain is dead, man. His fucking brain is dead. I don't know why I said it like that. Fucking my brain dead. But either way. And yeah, this pen is fucking dead too. Jesus. Right, oh my god, bro. Yeah, I can't think of anything. I'm really, like, I literally cannot think of the sphere or anything because it's taking all my effort just to get this dickhead's, his features in placement with the reference, right? Still trying to practice a little bit of proportion, right? And let's see, something like that, and then his jaw, and then now I can actually think about, maybe let's take a step back and I can think about the ear, right? So let's take this is the sphere here, or the ellipse here, right? And this is the edge, so I think his ear is right around here. That's actually pretty accurate. Actually, it does work out, right? And then his jaw goes down like this, and then we have something like that, right? That works out pretty decently. And then there's his ear. Right, it goes to show, like, even with this large of a box, the face inside of it is much smaller, right? And this is actually relatively decent. This is relatively decent, right? And now we're going to ignore all of this. Oh, dude, I have a fucking I literally have like my forehead is so warm. I literally have like a fucking headache. But maybe that's just a sleep deprivation. But anyways, so this is it for the time being, right? Because like I don't really care about finishing the the portrait. I just want to draw the main things, which is the ear, the fucking eyes, the nose, the mouth, and the jaw, right? To get the placement right. But the main thing is, of course, the mental model, right? That is actually what's 100 times more important than any of this shit, because this is what I'm constructing this on. By the way, I couldn't see this. I want to be very clear. Literally couldn't see this shit, but this is what I was attempting to construct it on, for lack of a better word, right? This is literally what I was attempting to construct it on. This is what I was constantly trying to visualize and see, right? Like, same thing here. So this is just, and obviously I fucked up this line, and it's now the point is wrong, but either way, let's just get the, and I'm really still trying to focus on everything, right? Like the cross section. So it's gonna get more fucky as I obviously do everything, but you know, this cross section for the back plane, right? What the fuck? I have no idea. Okay, yeah, because this is the bottom. Okay, so this is the back. There you go. You can see that's a bit curved, so that's still incorrect. And then this cross section, right? This diagonal. And the diagonal is what allows us to, and it's all based on the edges of the plane, of course. But this diagonal is what allows us to get the verticals, right? And I fucked that up too. See, it's wrong. I fucking like literally like 3 millimeters off, right? Forgive me, Father, for I'm shit. Right, but let's see. Let's try to get the fucking vertical line going proper. Right, same thing here, and let's get this one. This is also a vertical line, right? I guess it's technically the vertical. Let's see, because I need to get this accurate. There you go. That's off, but you know, you get what I'm trying to do. And then same thing here. Again, it all based on the vanishing points. Ow, my wrist is hurting because I'm resting it on the bottom of this drawing desk. Jesus Christ. And then same thing here, right? Where we need to get the back correct. And this is just the invisible planes. I want to be very clear. Like, this isn't even the visible ones, which is... Hopefully this is already giving you a headache, because this is literally what I go through every fucking practice session. And now we do the visible ones, which is this one, and then... See, this is the most fucked one. You can see my lines are not going to be that good. This one, and then... There you go. This, which is like super narrow, and then this as well, which is why I love these angles, because they're so fucking difficult. See, like I actually got this wrong. Where the fuck am I? What is this line? What the fuck is this line here? I'm so confused. What is that line? Well, hold up. I got this, I got this, I got that. Oh no, that is my diagonal. I just fucked it up so badly. Whatever, bro. So there you can see we got my... Oh, we don't have my center plane yet. We just got this other side. We still got to get this front side here and this front plane. So we got the bottom plane. Oh my god. You can see how I... Hopefully you can understand how I struggle. Why do you think I have to fucking be my own hype man? We can do it, guys. It's all fucking about effort. Why do you think I have to do that? Huh? You think I do it for fun? Actually, yes, because it's still really good mindset to promote. But mainly, it's because my brain dying. My brain needs reassurance that it is doing good. But there is no reassurance, only hell in effort. See, like, I don't actually mean that. I want to be very clear. It's not hell, it's just effort, right? I know people, like, it's all a joke. Like, literally, it's a joke. But I know people love to fucking... Like, people romanticize the grind way too much, bro. It's not a fucking... It's not like, oh my god, I'm a warrior. Oh, I'm trying so hard. It's like, no, you're just putting a fuck ton of effort in. It is difficult. Congratulations. You should be proud of yourself for putting that effort in. But... You're not a fucking warrior, bro. You're just drawing lines on a page. And this applies to everything. Like, yes, the merit and the value and the applause and, you know, the appreciation comes from the effort. Always, in my opinion. Not from the narrative you tell yourself. You know, the narrative you tell yourself, I think the only narrative that matters is like... And like, okay, I guess people can be as intense as they want to. I personally just find it unnecessary. But I think the only narrative that matters is this goal, whatever I'm learning, is just an excuse to become and build the person that is capable of these things, right? Like, that's it. Like, it is about who you become. It is about the person you become. It is about the fucking human you build, right? The skill set that you build. Okay, anyways, and now we're gonna do the ellipse, right? We're gonna do the ellipse. My girlfriend's doing random dances in the corner. I'm gonna beat her after this. Don't you worry, everybody. On this channel, we don't abuse women. We abuse... I didn't have a joke for that. Yeah, we just abuse them, whatever. Right? And if I abuse, you would mean that I'm gonna take care of her and I love her with all my heart. Then yes, I'm gonna abuse her so hard, right? Yeah, she called me gay. Fuck off. But anyways, let's do the ellipse, and I'm still figuring this shit out, right? Right, she was supposed to be sleeping, but she did not sleep at all during this entire time, which is fucking stupid. So I'm gonna have to beat her for that too. But either way, let's see. I'm trying to get this down. Again, my ellipses do need a lot of work, but this one's okay. And then we got that's the vertical, that's like this plane, that's this plane, and then this plane, and then you can see like I'm just spent. Hopefully you can hear how spent I am, because I'm genuinely mentally fatigued. Right? And this is roughly, I think, this ellipse. Right? I do need to learn a lot more about the ellipses, trust me. Like, I know that they're pretty mid, right? And like this one too, I don't know if the top right corner is proper, but, and then, like, so this is what you do. You see all the center planes, you fuse the center planes, and then you fucking put ellipses inside the 3 center planes. And then it's like, look, we encompass this in a sphere. Ta-da, right? Like, we encompass this in a sphere, which I'm not really encompassing that well, but let me use my other pen, right? It will obviously, oh shit, I fucking hit my head on the camera, or my phone, but the thing is, like, this will all become much more consistent and, what's it called? It'll become more consistent and legitimate once, again, the mental model is fused, right? Like, because once the mental model for seeing all these center planes and the cross axis is fused, it will be more legitimate. But either way, like, I fucked up the lines, and the pen is not working, but this is basically what I'm trying to see all the time, right? And then the face is just an add-on. But that's its own thing. That's very difficult as well. Oh, my fucking arms are so sore, bro. I'm gonna, god damn it, unnecessary curling. But with that being said, I'm spent. I'm tired. I thought I would do a second hour of drawing today. Bless you, bless you, bless you. She sneezed like 40 times in a row. It's pretty funny. But I'm spent. I thought I would do a second hour today to like get ahead of my backlog, or like get ahead and just create a backlog. The answer is no. The answer is I'm just going to rest my brain. Maybe I'll have energy to do it later, but this level of intensive cognitive spatial reasoning, according to cognitive load theory, you can really only do about like 90 minutes a day of like intense spatial reasoning, right? And then deep work is another part of that, where like we can only do 4 hours of deep work a day as well, right? So there's a lot of things. I don't know, I have a feeling my voice is extremely nasally right now. I don't know why. Like, I actually don't understand, because I feel like I sound very normal. But anyways, I hope you put a lot of effort in. Hope you really fucking tried, right? I'm spent. Oh yeah, rest your brain after this. Rest your brain for minimum 10 to 15 minutes, right? No stimulation, nothing, just rest it. And with that being said, as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please, I'll give my money.